The Storm Rider.
Come on, boy!
Perfect. All right. How you guys doing?
Very good. Thank you.
Awesome. I gotta tell you, I watched Storm Rider yesterday. I was blown away. I felt like I was watching a graphic novel. Like it could have been made as a graphic novel and it just came to life. I felt like it was an epic movie to me. And I gotta say congratulations to you guys on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my
Appreciate it.
first question is, what was the concept? How did the concept start with Storm Rider?
Who's going to answer that?
That's your question.
Your question. My question. I watched The Social Network about Facebook, and I was thinking maybe I could make something about the product that I made famous in America, about this fig jam. And I started putting together a script, and the original script was the grandfather and the grandson living on the island, on the fig island, and the grandson goes to America and he makes his success. Then when I got the directors, I said to Dom's like, how can we make this script a little bit more attractive to the audience? Yes, it's a beautiful immigration story. We would need like a really A-list cast. We wouldn't be able to get those. How can we make this more compelling, more commercial? So, Dom was like, hey, let's add some spice to it. Let's put it in some time, apocalyptic time. Let's do a sci-fi movie. And we went to that direction. It was a very expensive direction to go, but that's why it took so long.
Yeah, and I'm guessing the lead character is named after you because his name is also Neb. Was that something
Yes,
that was come up about?
yes, it is. The script it was changed a lot, but first 30 minutes of the movie is basically original, right? How I grew up with my grandfather. I wanted to show that relationship, the family relationship, the integrity, togetherness, and that's what the directors really helped me show, you know.
Yeah, and that brings me to my next question for Zoran and Dom. What attracted you to the script and that made you want to ultimately go this route of making it like a sci-fi biopic, if you will?
Uh, yeah, I mean, for us, I mean, we was looking for the project anyway that would kind of adapt to our creative ideas. But what attracted us, it was actually the family story on the island, and we are familiar, and we are all from there, and so and this heritage what we have culturally, with grandfathers and everything, it's very embedded, let's say in example Balkanic or Croatian, Croatian culture, Dalmatia. So what attracts us is that core really of the family, and then we will start to building universe around it and transform it. Okay, it's not rowing, it's racing. Let's adapt this to this. Let's adapt product to substance and start to molding it from something what was completely different, but keeping the spine and the human relationship inside of the story. And I think that that was the key. I think that that's what is the biggest value of the movie.
I would add that, Dom and I are big Western fans, and we're big sci-fi fans, and we're big comic book fans, and we're big on anime and manga and all that. So we like to joke that with this film, we kind of carved a new genre. We call it calamari sci-fi, like like an antidote to Western spaghettis, because it's essentially European filmmakers
That's actually a
making the
good name
film.
for it.
Yeah, it's like we're making the genre outside of the studio system in Europe with essentially all European actors. I think we only have one American actor, and he's the villain, right? So that how cool is that? And it's kind of a total counterculture to the corporate studio big films. And and then of course, as Dom said, there's a flavor, right? There's a stone, there's trumpets, all these things that are kind of like nods to the Sergio Leone, all the great westerns, spaghetti westerns. So we thought that that was never done. Like with all the different ingredients, that will have a new flavor. It's crazy, right? But I think ultimately it's a good, fun ride.
Yeah, and you mentioned the cast, only one American. I gotta tell you, I was a big fan of Marcos when I saw him in Vikings. So when I found out that he was gonna be, when I saw that he was gonna be in the film, I was instantly like, good, because I loved him in Vikings, such a great role, and I was like, I want to see what he was gonna do next, and he made such a believable hero in this. Like he brought that human side to things. Like he practically played his character on Vikings, like a warrior with a human side to himself, but he sets out to prove something. Like he sets out to prove that the whole thing is not what it seems. And I also got to give props to Caroline Goodall as the Baroness because I was a huge fan of hers for like last couple of decades, like seeing her in so much stuff. So to bring these to see these two together in the films and even on screen together, I was so excited because they were such good actors. And what was it like working with them on the set?
It was very easy, right?
It was great.
Very
It
good.
was great. Good dynamics, fast. Let's say fast, simple, straightforward characters was very developed by Zoran before and very well communicate. And yeah, I mean, we spent the time on the characters, building them, shaping them, and then with the actors, we define them completely. Example, Tarus is completely defined by Gillies.
Yeah.
I mean, we give him a look, we give him everything, but when we met with him, then he come with this idea how he see, and he brought us this a small like his notebook with these drawings and everything, and that was so dark that I said like, okay, I think that this could work. Like, I don't think that we need to really work too much on a character because character is already inspired by the death from the Seventh Seal.
Seven Seal.
Yeah, and the Bergman have that look and everything, but we also have some kind of approach that he's a madman, but Gillis bring the logic to that badness that is not just emperor, that is just this kind of the completely lost guy in eternity of the long life.
Yeah.
Emperor that want to be God.
That's awesome.
Yeah, James Cosmo practically never had more than one take. Like the guy, whatever he says, it's better than what you envision while writing. And he was so great and like collaborative and such a great gentleman. I can't praise him enough. And Marco actually, if you do the word count in the film, he actually speaks very, very, very few lines. So again, going back to the spaghetti western model of man of few words, right? But we added the voiceover at the end. That was like our last thing we did in post, just to re-explain what's going on because people were just confused by everything. But essentially, if you strip that out, he actually is a very quiet guy. He's got a lot going on
Yeah.
internally, and I think that's very difficult for an actor.
It is
Just
true. He internally he doesn't really talk a lot out, but a lot is going on inside.
yeah,
And we this film has like 6 or 7 stories. No film could sustain more than 3 or 4 stories. We have 7. Obviously, one is big, and then you have small stories along. And so we had to introduce narration to explain to people what's going on. This is not a film. This is not an easy film to understand. I mean, we're challenging audience.
No, not at first. I mean, I was feeling that at first, but with the narration, it did help. And but what also was the visually striking images that we see in the film. And you mentioned Zoran, you mentioned that you were inspired by manga and anime. Were there any particular titles that inspired you for the film in terms of the story? Like, were there any specific manga or anime titles that you felt?
yeah. Like for me, Spirited Away is like a Bible, right? So the relationship between nature and the technology and the mythology and again how it's mixed with music. To me, that's like I always want, like how the anime films, if they were to be done live action, I think that's such a leap creatively. So we dared to kind of go there.
That's awesome. How long did shooting take on the film? And did you face any like major challenges during production?
Wow. Um, yeah, I mean, we take along. The one thing is, it's that really hit us in the middle. It was Corona, so that was kind of like we start very early, and but then when we get in post production, shooting on a water is complicated thing, and sun is moving, everything is moving, so a lot of the things will start to kneeling toward the longer dates of the CG, so that we can keep the consistency look and everything, and that took time. Yeah, that took time, but the whole turnaround process, like if we compress it and everything, was around 4 years, 5 years.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I would have to say this film is anytime we were shooting the film 3 times, right? Like 35 days, then 12 days, and then 3 days. And anytime we were shooting, we had the regular obstacles like anyone else with the weather, but we really got it all in camera we wanted. Uh, the only thing is, this film was really made in editing. If you look at 2 months of shooting and 7 years of editing, obviously we lost a couple of years because of pandemic, but this film was done in a very, very different way than how the other films are done. We were trying to save the film because we had this beautiful scenery, we had these beautiful scenes. Like we have no story. What are we gonna do? Like how are we gonna? And then we had to shoot again and then again, and finally we saw, like a year and a half ago, we saw that this film could be something special. When Dom said, "Hey, we have to make," you know Nicola, is being asked, "Hey, Dad, can you help me? It's our war," and Dom is like, "Nicholas just has to help." So he said, "Okay, let's go shoot once again. Let's bring his like pirates in to help his son to break through the storm." So basically, that was when we introduced that last shooting and that last idea, and with this epic end, we knew we had something special.
That's awesome. Speaking of which, this is apparently going to be possibly the first of a new franchise called the Hydroverse, from what I heard. And is there any, if this does well enough, which I'm hoping it does, because I would love to see more adventures like this from you guys. Is there any, have you guys worked on already like an idea for the follow-up to this?
Well, Neb's making toys from this film with and be controlled remotely like cars. So that I'm excited about that.
Maybe we catch him, we keep playing with them even like somewhere. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, definitely. We were always exploring and moving. We didn't been really stick to the script, so our imagination was changing through the process. We was building universe. And like Neb said, when we understand that we have something solid and we was really want to craft it and understand it in our way, because we know that we, for some kind of the way, are different. So yeah. We have ideas over the different medias, definitely. But let's see how this will go. So from then, fortune favor the bold.
Well, everyone, check out Storm Rider, Legend of Hammerhead on March 13th. This was definitely an epic adventure. If you're into anime, you're into graphic novels, you're into stuff like the Odyssey or even the Bible, bring that all together and you got this film. And I got to thank Zoran, Dom, and Neb. You guys did a fantastic job on this film, and I hope it does well enough that we're going to see a new adventure with this, hopefully the same crew. So thank you again for talking about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you guys stay awesome.
You too, man.